Newsfirst, prime time sunrise.
Hello there, a very good morning and welcome to Newsfirst Primetime Sunrise with Misha and Silva. Now, a special feature of today's bulletin is that we will be coming to you live from the historic site of Sigiriya, and Ramesh and Mahina are standing by to provide you with the latest that is taking place around the world, in and around the world. Now, taking a look at your headlines for this morning: amendments to the Allied Health Science degree referred to relevant authorities.
Amendments to the Allied Health Science degree referred to relevant universities. Inter-University Students Federation convener says the 171-day-long Satyagraha will conclude tomorrow. Presidential Commission on Missing Persons receives a further 212 complaints in Batiklo. Karachi airport reopens following attack by Taliban militants.
On to your stories in detail now. The Ministry of Higher Education says that amendments to the Allied Health Science degree have been submitted in writing to the relevant universities. Deputy Minister Nandimitra Ekanayaka says that the credit points required for the completion of the degree have been increased from 90 to 120. Meanwhile, the convener of the Inter-University Students Federation, Najit Indika, says that the Satyagraha campaign commenced by university students in protest of cutbacks to the Allied Health Science degree, now in its 171st day, will conclude tomorrow morning. The 171-day-long Satyagraha campaign that we initiated has achieved success, as we hope the students were yesterday presented in writing the amendments that are to be made to the degree curriculum. They have been informed that it has been made a 120 credit point degree, and the deans and the university administration have also informed that this degree will continue as is. Thereby, the Satyagraha campaign that has been conducted in Colombo, Galle and Peradeniya and opposite the University Grants Commission will conclude tomorrow morning. Following extensive discussions, we have reached the conclusion that there is no problem if the degree is awarded upon the completion of 120 credit points in keeping with international standards. When we made inquiries from the deans about this, they said it would be possible to award the degree with 120 credit points. We also sought legal advice in this regard. We met with the Attorney General as well. They were not willing to abandon the Satyagraha until the order was issued in writing. So now we have issued the order in writing. They have decided to halt their campaign. Now, as mentioned, Ramesh and Mahina are standing by from the historic site of Sigiriya to provide you with the latest news.
Hello everyone, this is a picturesque location in Sri Lanka that has drawn crowds from here at home and across the world to its shows. A very historic site that has put Sri Lanka on the map. We're here at this historic site, the epitome of archaeology, Sri Lanka's rich archaeology that has really captivated the world, Ramesh.
Definitely, Mahina. Well, as you can see in the background behind us, we are in the picturesque and historic Sigiriya Rock Fortress complex, which gives a brief glimpse into our rich and proud heritage, which is our identity. Now, we have Newsfirst Katrina Chang, who is atop the Sigiriya Rock Fortress with us, very special guest, Mahina.
Yes, Ramesh, the Sigiriya Fortress and also its surrounding areas are not only drawing tourists because of its rich history, but it is a responsibility of us to preserve this for the future generation. And that is why Katrina Chang, Newsfirst Katrina Chang, is catching up with Professor Gamani Adhikari, the Director General of the Central Cultural Fund, and they're atop the Sigiriya Rock Fortress. Let's cross over to them.
Thank you, Mahina and Ramesh, and a very good morning to all of our viewers. You're joining us live from the top of the Sigiriya Fortress. Must say it's an absolutely stunning view here, and today we have a very special guest with us, Senior Archaeologist and Director General of the Central Cultural Fund, Professor Gamini Adhikavi, joining us today. Now, Professor, as you all know, the Sigiriya Fortress was declared a World Heritage Site in 1982. And what makes Sigiriya a World Heritage Site?
The UNESCO, they have proposed Sigiriya is one of the unique sites in the world because it's mostly important three values we have considered. One is the Sigiriya water garden, it's unique in the world, as well the Sigiriya mirror wall and the Sigiriya fresco, especially the paintings. Those three components considered the UNESCO and they declare as World Heritage Sites in Sigiriya. Those are the main points to establish the UNESCO as a World Heritage Sites in Sigiriya.
Right, Professor. And my second question to you would be, now you all are still conducting research in the area, and not only in the Sigiriya Fortress, but you said around the vicinity as well. What are the latest discoveries that you all have come across?
In the last more than 125 years, throughout those 125 years, we have excavated, restored many things. I think one of the major finds so far uncovered from the world, I think we found not the Sigiriya itself, and we checked the core area, who are the people support to build the Sigiriya, and other royalties who are surrounding the Sigiriya. I think we're very close to here. It's those days Sigiriya is bigger than we thought. It's more than when we consider in the crop-by distance, it's 11 miles from Sigiriya core area to the suburbs. It means a huge area. We found iron production sites. I think that is one of the biggest finding we have so far excavated. It's Sigiriya. We found 2A holders. It means a certain kind of bellows having the holder having 8 2A holders bellows. I think this is the world's biggest iron production sites, one of the major furnace and the 2A holders in the world. I think they used very good techniques because the 2A holder and the 2As to connecting some certain kind of clay. We don't know exactly what type of a clay because the melting point is over 1100, 200. It will be melt or crack, but the thing doesn't happen. And they use these techniques. The Swedish archaeologists, they are very keen about that, and they are still carry out their research about how to use this clay material to connecting those two as some certain kind of pulp or plaster like that. I think that this is one of the major finds we so far found. As well, we've established the Sigiriya chronology from Stone Age. It means not the Kasyapan period. It's a more than 10,000 years old period. Stone Age people start to stay around the Sigiriya caves, and then come the monastic period. After that, Kasyapan, and up to date, Sigiriya will establish. Those finds are very massive finds we found, and we are start to write new chapters about the Sigiriya.
All right. Thank you, Professor. Now later on in the news, we will of course be talking about how we can protect this beautiful historical site. Over to you, Mahina and Ramesh.
That was, of course, Newsfirst Katrina Chang in conversation with Professor Gamini Adhikari, the Director General of the Central Cultural Fund.
Mahinda, let's get on with more local news that have made headlines this morning. The Presidential Commission appointed to look into the missing persons has received 212 complaints so far from the Batticaloa district.
Now, the Secretary to the Commission, H.W. Gunadas, says that over the past 4 days, the Commission had heard testimony with regard to the 198 complaints it has received thus far.
Over the past 4 days, we heard testimony with regard to 198 complaints we had received. In addition, 212 new complaints were lodged. The Presidential Commission on Missing Persons hopes to commence work in the Mullaitivu district next month. At the same time, we are going ahead with our consultation program. The program will be held on the 11th Wednesday with the participation of the relevant ministry secretaries and the stakeholders.
Now, the Department of Animal Products and Health says that 150 heads of cattle have been identified as having contracted foot and mouth disease.
The Director General of the Department, Dr. Kumar De Silva, said that 12 to 15 heads of cattle have died from this disease so far. At
present, pockets of reports of the disease have been received, including from Baddegama in Gaul, Beruwala in Kalutara, Kurunegala and Munaragala. The situation is still under control and the necessary vaccinations have been distributed. We held discussions with the Inspector General of Police recently to request that the transport of livestock not be allowed without a veterinarian certificate. Recently, we saw cattle being freed through the involvement of various persons. We are not saying do not do this. It is a good thing and we will assist if these cattle are being given to farmers. However, we request that the animals be kept in one area for at least 10 days to ascertain whether they have the disease or not before they are transported elsewhere.
A very good morning. You're watching Primetime Sunrise, coming to you from a different location, not from the usual Newsfirst Centre in Colombo. We're far away from the Newsfirst Centre in Colombo. We're in Sigiriya, that's 10 kilometers away from Dambulla, the main town close to Sigiriya. Giving you a brief history about Sigiriya. Now, Sigiriya was built by King Kashyapa I in the 5th century AD, and it really boasts of ancient ponds, Ramesh, of frescoes.
The architectural techniques of the ancient Sri Lankans, which really has many scientists up to date baffled by the techniques that were used by our ancient Sri Lankans.
Particularly in trying to get water from down here up to this huge rock you can see behind us. And apart from that, there are so many other attractions inside Sigiriya. You have the frescoes, you have the mirror wall, you have the Lion's Gate, all of this attracting thousands of tourists every year to Sigiriya. And in 1982, Ramesh, taking into consideration that Sigiriya is one of the best preserved example of ancient urban planning, UNESCO named it a World Heritage Site in 1982.
And it was also among the wonders of the world for quite some time before it was eventually taken off the list. We'll get on with more local news today. The Department of Fisheries says that it will be presenting a motion in court to release the Indian fishermen that are currently in Sri Lankan custody. Assistant Director Lal De Silva said that this decision was taken in the wake of the President's recommendation in this regard.
It was reported that 82 Indian fishermen were placed in remand custody on charges of having violated Sri Lanka's maritime boundaries. President Mahinda Rajapaksa had called for the release of the fishermen yesterday in a bid to foster better bilateral ties with India. De Silva, however, noted that the Indian fishermen's equipment and vessels would not be released. He added that 11 Sri Lankan fishermen who were in the custody of Indian authorities had been released. The Assistant Director noted that these fishermen who were released on Sunday were at the Mahabodhi Vihara in Bodh Gaya, Bihar at the moment. Additionally, it was reported that there were 92 Sri Lankan fishermen in the custody of Indian authorities. De Silva said that a request for their release had been made via the Ministry of External Affairs.
bringing you the news bulletin from Sigiriya. But just a reminder that, organizing such a telecast is not an easy task, Ramesh. There was a lot of people who supported us and coordinated with us to make this news telecast a success. And some of these individuals are from the Ministry of Cultural Affairs, the Central Cultural Fund, the Department of Archaeology, and also not forgetting the staff and officials here at Sigiriya who strive every day to conserve this archaeological site, and also the Newsfirst crew that has been working tirelessly behind the scenes to bring you the news from Sigiriya.
Now, one of the reasons why we chose Sigiriya as a location for primetime sunrise was our need to highlight the importance of conserving this World Heritage Site for our future generations, because this is our identity and this is our duty. It is our duty to protect our heritage. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Ramesh Irugal Bandara.
And I'm Mahina Bongso. Thank you very much for joining us. You can catch all the stories we add today on our website. That's www.newsfirst.lk. Have yourself a great day.
Hotline 0114-896-896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.